Well, welcome back everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is the fourth live stream of the day for the Phil Price Memorial Woodpecker Stages Rally 2024. Joining us here stage side again in Sweet Lamb, where the weather has beaten us. I'm sure the same story goes across all the stages this morning and this afternoon. It's looking relatively clear here at the minute, but we have had problems with low cloud all day, as you'll have seen earlier on the live stream. And our second location up the hill over the back of us here was just a no-go. We got up there and it was thick cloud, very little visibility, and unfortunately both ourselves and you guys at home would not have been able to see a great deal at all. So we have ventured back down the hill. We enjoyed it this morning. We thought the jump was good this morning. We didn't want to lose that jump, so we have moved our way down the road a little bit to this nice little S bend, or this little section of S bends here next to us, where we had a few waggles of the tail, didn't we, this morning? Cars dropping their rear ends into this ditch underneath us here. Quite a ditch as well. You'll do well to get back out of there, I must admit. Certainly anything two-wheel drive would struggle. But yeah, lovely little bit of stage. We've just seen Scott Matthews and Ollie Jackson in the 205 GTI opening up proceedings for us here. Car 304. Ludlow Castle and Rossend District Motor Club lads in that 205 GTI. And they will be the first car back to service and back to the finish of the event this afternoon. This is stage 8, Sweet Lamb 2. The last stage of the rally today. Fantastic action throughout the day, as we see Martin Pendlebury and Grace Bell through in the polo. Next Cup car, that 1600 engine running in the B10 class. So it's been an exciting day really. We had lots of fun this morning where there wasn't any fog. It was nice to be able to see the cars coming into view in the distance and then taking off over the jump that's been created here towards the end of the stage. A few spectators gathered up there now on the banking to see what all the fuss was about. And yeah, we're in for a good afternoon as well. So I hope you enjoyed the coverage today. Paul's brought you all the action from stages 1 and 5. Over in Kerry, and I know they've struggled really badly as well with the weather there. That's the Corolla of Jonathan Griffiths and Robert Griffiths, 60 and Worcester members. We'll get a good idea now of who's pushing on over this last section of stage. We had some real serious commitment this morning from the guys over the jump, some of the guys over the jump anyway, and it'll be interesting to see now, just over the crest as the cars go out of shot there, you've probably got about 300, 400 metres of stage to go. Tricky little section. You've got a very tight gate to get through before you go over the finish, flying finish, and then into service to round up the day. So not far to go. Send it over the jump. There's one person having a go, definitely. That was the Peugeot 106 of Joel Lewis and Tom Beckett. No brakes, no lift for the boys in the little 106 there. Great to see. As always, great to see who's joining us along for the ride as well. Big shout out to everybody. If you can share the stream far and wide with everyone you know, and we'll get our names out there a bit more, show everybody in the world the sport we love. That'd be fantastic. You join us on this particular stream where we concentrate on the Pirelli Welsh Championship. We will, as ever at Special Stage, always show you as many crews as we can possibly fit in, but our focus on this live stream is purely the the Welsh Championship crew, so we'll be talking a little bit more about that, more information regarding each one of those. Great to see car 299. That's Bill Douglas, Dave Turl out in the Volvo 244. In a couple of cars' time, we should have Darryl Denning and Alex Lewis in a very similar car. It's a big old bus to throw around the stages, but nevertheless, it's getting around, isn't it? Ian Ross has joined us. Thank you, Ian. Afternoon. Hope you're all well down at the rally school. Hope you're busy as well. Down there. Freddie Camp and Stephen Spear then in the Mark 1 1600. You're going to have to just bear with me a little bit this afternoon. I thought my cold would get a bit better as I took some tablets this morning, but it seems to be getting worse as the day's going on. So I'm coughing and sniffling and all sorts, spluttering along at the minute. So yeah, I'm not underwater. It's just I've got a bit of a frog in my throat at times. Just bear with me, I'm afraid. If I stand here in this clearing with nobody else around me, at least nobody else can get my germs then. So you're all safe wherever you are around the country, or in fact the world. So shout out to everybody else watching. Jonathan Pullen, Luke Leonard, Dave Campling, Joe Walker, cheering on Mark Walker in car 292, who we'll see any time now. RT Max. 244 Volvo, no lift. Ian Ross we mentioned already. John McGrath is also watching. Roger Haycox is watching back in Shropshire. Thank you for tuning in, Roger. I love that profile picture of yours. It's the old Escort of mine and my dad's. Adam Clayton is also watching, so thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Like I say, if you don't mind sharing the stream, for those that are new to the stream and are wondering what's going on, reverse seeding, that is. We don't bring the car through backwards. The Avenger there of Neville Breach, class leader. He's looking for 2 more scores. Well, he's about to get one of them as he makes his way through the end of this stage and into the final time control. Peter Fowle says, "Go Darryl" in the Volvo. He's from my town. So a little bit of support and love there for the Volvos. That's good to hear. I don't see too many of them on the stages, but having 2 out on the same event, that's great to see. There's the C2RT Max. Mark Walker, Daniel James. Full send over the jump. Good lads, well done. Nice to see. So a little bit of information coming from Stephen Butler. Elliot Payne, who runs in the 4-wheel drives, he's actually car 1 on the road this weekend, has a double fracture in his wrist, but getting around okay. Struggles on some hairpins apparently. So interesting to read. Hope he's okay. Doesn't seem to be slowing him down very much at all. So. Something you really want when you're driving a car, is it? At speed like this, a double fracture in his wrist. But fighting his way through the stages to get himself a finish, I'm sure. It would work. painful. Still like to see a Nova out on the stages. It's epitome of clubman rallying for me, that. When I see a Nova, I just think that's exactly what a 1400 rally car should be like. It's great to see. More Novas on the stages. That's what we want. So we're looking for Giles Armitage next. .205 hopefully should be for interview. We are a long way through the event now, so things will mix up and 298 then. Chris Gittins and Chris Arnott through first in the 318 compact. Obviously they start in a certain order, but throughout the day things will change. Cars and crews will drop back or move up the leaderboard depending on how they're running and if they've had problems on the road sections or in stages. You could have had a puncture that you need to change, and obviously you lose a little bit of time then. And you get a certain amount of allowance for the road. So it's not a problem if they are running slightly out of order. Paul Morris says, good coverage as always, keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate your comments. Dominic is cheering on Nev. He's battling through the pain barrier, that is for sure. Thank you, Stephen. I'm glad he is. He's looked on it as well today. He was flying this morning, so yeah. Really good stuff. It's great to see him continuing, even with a couple of fractures in his wrist. So, I'm sure a well-deserved pint at the end won't go amiss. So we saw Giles Armitage and Josh Rhodes, the first of the Armitage clan, through in their 205 GTI. Over that jump, they were a little bit wild this morning. So fair play, they've remembered the section stage and just slowed it down a little bit. It's a little bit more sensible this time around, boys. Well done. The RO members, my local motor club. I'm sure Ed and the rest of the gang back at ERO will be following Simon and Sam's progress today. First of the TR7 V8s then. Last interview. Nicely done, Graham Thatcher, Tim Samuel, making their way to the end of the stage. We've done 3 events this season in the Pirelli Welsh Championship with 3 finishes, which is a good start-finish ratio, I would say, and currently lies second in class as well, so that's not bad, is it? It's a great effort by Graham. It's lovely to see a TR7 out on the stages, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get to see another one shortly. Second one being driven very capably by Mr. Mark Higgins. George Clark has commented, this looks a fantastic part of the stage, needs adding to the mini rally challenge. Yeah, that'd be good, George. I'd see you through here, actually. Nice smooth bit of a nice smooth bit of gravel here for us. Sir Jeremy Wells and Martin Saunders in the Mark 1 escorts making their way towards that finish line, and a well-earned beer at the end. Second outing this year for this crew, joining the H1 and 2 class. Obviously a very competitive class, that class this year, so a lot of crews to go against there. The weather's holding out just about. We were told we were supposed to be getting rain this afternoon, so if everyone can keep their fingers crossed that that doesn't happen, that would be lovely. The torment of Paul Holmes and Elizabeth Beasley then will dab on the brakes as they make their way over the jump. 2-litre Mark II Escort. Lovely looking car, that. Going well. Gav Ruler, Calvin Hadley and Mark Holmes have all joined us as well. Welcome along, guys. Thank you for joining and tuning in to us. This is the final stage of the 2024 Phil Price Memorial Woodpecker Rally. Sounding engine note to that car, lovely that. Just about to make their way into the finish line, or class. So looking to make improvements, I'm sure, and making their way to the finish line here of this rally. Certainly put them in good stead for that. We'll have to see if that Toyota is still running. Yes, it is. T27 Corolla, I think. Nicely done. Paul Price guiding Ian through the stages today. We always love variety here at Special Stage, and that's one of the cars that I do like to see on the stages. Only one I can think of anyway that competes in the UK rallying. So looking towards Lynn Davies now and Alan Richards, Typhy Valley Motor Club members, in their escort. We'll see if they make their way into shot in time now. Not quite yet. This is getting the price. No dab of the brakes. Go on. Oh, little dab of the brakes. Plenty of air still underneath that Micra. So it'd be interesting to see, with just a few hundred metres to go, who's going to really go for for broke on this final jump, final stage of the rally, like I say. It's around about a 2-mile stage here at Sweet Lamb. We've tackled stages over in the Kerry Forest first of all, and then they move down to Havron, where they've run 2 stages in Havron, and then they just come out the back end of Havron and down the hillside into this incredible motorsport complex here. John Day and Corey Jones in the Mini. That'll please George Clark, I'm sure. There we go. looking good. So big shout out to Neil Lockett, Rob, Helen, Andrew Hankey, Paul Morris, Mark Gaunt, all tuning in to watch us here on the live stream. Mark Gaunt asking if we have a top 10. Difficult to give you a top 10 at the minute, Mark. I will have a little look shortly. Obviously with these cars running reverse seeding and the faster cars coming later, it's difficult to give you an updated list. It's so difficult at the minute. We'll do that for you. Dave Peters there and Andrew Richards, the Escort 2 litre. 277 up from North Devon. A few cars coming through earlier with the punches as well. It's interesting to see if anything like that happens again on this stage. Right hand, left hand rear corner of the car, wasn't it? So interesting to see if anyone comes through with punches on that corner of the car again. Charles Hunt. Committed, coming into shot there. Down the brakes from the jump. All good. First event this year was the Nicky Grist. Finished 7th in class. And going well today. It's the top of the class for H3, H4 class, as we know, but going well there, Charles and Alan. Another one of the Forest of Dean car club members. Also that was up here this weekend, not too far from the Forest of Dean to mid Wales, but you guys will all be looking forward to the final round of the Pirelli Welsh Championship, which takes place in and around the Forest of Dean in a couple of months' time. Usually a fantastic way to finish the season, raining down there in that part of the world. Barry Hughes and Stuart Borden then through next, through from Devon in the 1600 powered Escort. Giving a little bit of horsepower away there to some of the cars around it, but being pedalled just as well, I have to say. Brian Kemp is watching from North Wales. Thank you for tuning in, Brian. Neil Roskell is watching as well. Hello, Neil. Nice to see you on board. I haven't seen you again for a while, have I? It's been a while. So you're always flashing past me. No one ever has a chance to stop and say hello these days. They're always too busy, aren't they? All of you. Lynn Davies and Aled Richards, the 57 Tyres Limited sponsored car. Class winners in 2023 and currently lying second overall at the minute as well going into this event. So it's going pretty well so far. Have to just try and find that extra 10th if they want to take top spot again this year in the class. So one of the championship sponsors as well, so big shout out to 57 Tyres Limited for coming on board with the Pirelli Welsh Championship and helping fund things that way. Michael Jenkins and Jordan Joins, the yellow peril. Nice big jump from the pair in the 1600 Fiesta. Second in class in the championship. Always good entertainment as well, them pair. A few others then tuning in. Warren Martin, Craig Smith's watching. Steve Perez is along with us for the ride as well. Thank you, Steve, for joining us. Mark Quayle over on the Isle of Man as well. Hello, Mark. Thank you for tuning in. This is gravel rallying, this, Mark. You won't know what that is coming from the Isle of Man. We have a little bit of forestry. Big air over the jump for Ben and Josh Carr in the Eton Yale coloured, Castrol coloured Mark II Escort. Going well, the pair. Down from Yorkshire. If you want to get involved, you want to say hello, feel free to join us on the live stream. You can chat away in the chat box at the bottom. I'll pick up as many of those chats as I can. Let me know where you're watching. Don't tell me what the weather's like, because it's bound to be better than where I am now. But yeah, join in. Tell us what you're having for your tea. And don't do that either. That'll wind me up even more, because I'll probably have pot noodles on the way home. But yeah, just let us know how things are. What's your favourite car of the day so far? You've seen them. 269, Martin Walters and Marie Fletcher. So Brian's watching from North Wales. Turn up the microphone. It's not often somebody tells me to speak loud. Right, bear with me then, we'll have a look at that for you. Neil Roskell cracking the flags in Mull. Oh, you're up on my favourite island, are you? You'll be getting ready, I take it, for an event that's happening up there in a couple of months' time. Yes, that'll be good. Need to get back up to the island. It's been a while. Been too long since I've been up to Mull. But a fantastic place to watch rallying and to spend some time. David Jones and Glyn Price in the die block Escort. We call it the die block Escort because the registration number reads die block, in case you're wondering. Going well, and they've got a 12-point lead over the Foxes in a similar BMW as well in the class. Battle of BMWs at the top of the 12 category. Richard Boyens says, from sunny, warm North Carolina, USA, gravel and forest, it's a proper rally. Thank you for joining us, Richard, all the way over from the States. Yeah, this is rallying in Wales. Probably some of the best forestry you can get in Wales as well, mid-Wales. This is a fantastic motorsport complex that we have here in the UK. It really is second to none around here. Fantastic place to come. Hoping that the microphone has just been that we've got midges. Midges at this time of year in Wales. That can't be right, surely. They're everywhere. You're eaten alive here. Terry Cree and Richard Shaw's down from Malton in Yorkshire in that stunning BMW 2002 Ti. Great to see that car out, always a pleasure. Again, variety is the spice of life, we love it. Always good. Matthew Jackson is watching, thank you Matthew. Elliot Payne is having a cheeky watch as well. Elliot, we hear you've got a bad hand. I hope it's alright. I hope it's serving you well today and getting you around the stages okay. And, when you get back, you can rest up and get it fixed and sorted. But yeah, not something nice to hear. And you have a fractured wrist, so hopefully you're on the mend. Roger Haycox has told us he's got steak paninis with onions, mushrooms, coleslaw and skinny fries for tea. Luckily, we know where you live, so we'll pop in on the way back, Roger. And make sure you save some for us, won't you? Thank you very much. Lovely stuff. Thanks, Roger. And we just saw Greg Mills and Andrew Sankey in that red Mark II Escort flash past. I was too busy looking at the food menu from Roger's house. 2 non-finishes so far, so he's desperate for a finish, is Greg. And, well, barring any troubles over the last 200 metres over that crest, he should have got one. He'll be looking to make sure he gets the car back to the final control in one piece. And that will be a finish notched up for Greg. Steve Chaplin and Rich Suter making their way through stages. I'm just listening. I've got a buzzing in my ears, so yeah, apologies for that. If that's coming across on your speakers or on your phone or on your headphones, it's not the best. Apologies. We'll do our best to work on that. But yeah, anyway, it's a little bit of interference from somewhere. So what else is going on? Graham Tong, Die Block is a wood supplier. Needs some blocks for the wood burner. Speak to Die. Okay, anyone out there needing any blocks for their fire or any wood for the wood burner? Give Die a shout. We'll sell some wood to fund a rallying campaign. That's impressive, isn't it? But good to hear. So Warren Martin is get ready for Rally Tennessee. That'll be interesting, won't it? Rally Tennessee. Don't see too much of the rallying in the USA, so Rally Tennessee. Rumours of the WRC heading over there in the coming years would certainly be beneficial to the country. Bring out some motorsport fans into the forests, I'm sure. Joe Dunn says, I've just tuned in. Is this Sweet Lamb? This is indeed Sweet Lamb. You are correct. We are sat on the hillside overlooking the barns and the bowl section of Sweet Lamb. High up on the hill. Chris Bush and Robert Bryn then in the Corsa Stockport 061 Motor Club members. Chris Bush and yeah, Robert Bryn alongside, going well, pushing hard. We were saying about the engine note in that Corsa earlier, weren't we? It's a glorious sounding engine in that car, going really well. Roger says we're most welcome for tea. It might be a bit late by the time we get there, Roger, after today. Well, thank you very much. It's very, very kind of you. We'll give you a toot when we go past later. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Joe says he thought it might be. He loves this track. Have you, by any chance, been playing the Dirt Rally games, Joe? If you have, you might recognise this little bit of stage. So for anybody out there that has got the Dirt Rally franchise games, the latest ones, the Sweet Lamb stage on the Dirt Rally game, the cars would actually come from the opposite direction to what you see here and come away from the jump past us down to a hairpin, then they'll turn hairpin left and they'll run along the bottom road down into the bowl where they go for the sheep dip water splash and the jump into the hole. 282, that's Richard Perry and Julia Perry. Great to see them still going strong in the Nova. Father and daughter team out on the Woodpecker stages this weekend. Julia does a lot of navigating around the country in various cars. Now here's one to watch. Flat on the jump, not a brake, not a lift. Ready? Incredible commitment. Charlie Tuthill, Ben Wild in that MG ZR lit the stage on fire this morning and continues to do so into the afternoon as well. Final stage for that crew, and that poor MG ZR has managed to make its way to the end of the stage, and it can have a well-earned rest after the day that it's had with Charlie behind the wheel. But what a fantastic prospect for the future with skills like that, you know, incredible pace from Charlie. Really impressive to watch. You'll struggle to find anyone with commitment like that today. We have 3 MGs back to back now. Joe Everett and Richard Wise then second of the cars through. Luke Watts is missing at the minute, so hopefully Luke will be through in the third of the MG ZRs. But yeah, three MG ZRs back to back. So Joe's going to be out navigating on the Track Rod Rally, so hopefully see you up there in Evo. You certainly will, Joe. I will be up on the Track Rod Rally Yorkshire in a few weeks' time. Looking forward to that one. Always great to get back to the Yorkshire forests. A great area of the world for Albion. We are making our way through the final stage now. We've probably got about an hour and a quarter maybe of competitors to come through before the end of the event here at Sweet Lamb. It's been a long, busy day today for everyone. So yeah, you're talking probably around about, let's have a look, 6:15, 20 past 6-ish by the time the last cars make their way out of here and into the finish. Here's Mr. Watts, hazard lights flashing. Not sure what's going on with that. However, we'll be just about at the finish line now, so okay, just trying to mess with this microphone, just trying to get that buzzing to go away. It's driving me up the wall. I can hear it in my headphone. It's not the nicest, so apologies for that. Looks good. No miss this time round. Yeah, thank you, Courig. Yeah, it's a little bit clearer. It's still around though, the mist. You only have to go up the hillside. Just behind us here, the hillside, and you will soon find yourself back in that low cloud. It's a little bit nasty, really, in places, but at the minute down here it's clear. This was the lowest part of the stage, really, surprisingly, when you look down on the bowl in the bottom. But yeah, it's as low down as we get, really. So we've positioned ourselves here to try and get out of the cloud line. So hopefully you guys appreciate it. It's a nice little bit of stage, isn't it? So that's why we're back here. So Ben Cree and Bob Wiggins making their way through earlier in the Corsa, car 254. More crews from Malton. Nobody left in Malton at this rate. Gary Smith and Clive Jones, another of the crews not to lift for the jump. Good commitment, class leader. It's a close battle in that H1, H2 category for the Pirelli Welsh Championship, but experience counts so far for the crew. They are showing the way to the others. So a few more people joining us. Matt Cotton's joined. Welcome along, Matt. Nice to see you. Nice to hear from you. Steve Butler and Joe Dunn having a chat about the injury to the wrist. Let's see. A little bit of a brake check. Harvey Price, not quite as brave as Joe. But, we'll see what Joe does when he gets here shortly. Ludlow Castle Motor Club members, Harvey and John, in that 2.1 litre Escort. So Dan Chester and Paul Barbett then making their way through the stage in their E30 BMW. And they've had one finish out of 2 events this year, and they're surely due a maximum at some point soon. Up against the Foxes and Dave Price and the Die Block Escort. See the BMWs battling along. Good to see. We'll see if Andrew and Jamie Lee are still with us here in their 325. Here they come. I think Die Block takes the commitment over the jump award today. 3 events though down for Andrew and Jamie Lee Fox, with only 1 finish. What's happening, guys? It's a tough year for the crew in the 325. We've got a 12-point deficit to die block, so they need a decent run over these last few events to try and pull that 12-point lead back. David Dobson and Brian Hodgson, they're in the 2-litre Escort. Car number 250. So, like before, if you are interested in finding out any of the results for any of the events that we cover in a year, but certainly today's event, the 2024 Phil Price Memorial Woodpecker Stages Rally, if you want to know what's going on in that event, whether you want to know classes or anything about the results at all, I'll just copy the link here and drop that into the message. There you go, that's me, and it's just gives you the chance to nip onto the website and find out exactly where your loved ones, family, friends, whoever's competing, they are and how they're getting on through the day. .245, I think that was. Neil James and Siobhan Pugh. I just missed the number as I was just putting the phone back. I think that's who it was. Well, it seems to have skipped a few cars, but we'll check in a second. The beauty of having a little bit of a delay on the phone coverage or the screen. I can see who it was, so it certainly was Neil James and Siobhan Pugh. Second event for Neil, with a no finish on the Nicky Grist and 3 events left. It is still possible to have a good result. Certainly is. Jeff Phelps and Colin Jenkins, they're going for a good result as well in their Mark II Escort. Beautiful livery on the side of that car. 3 starts, 3 finishes. A little bit of a different story for Jeff and Colin. Currently class leaders in the B11 category. So keep an eye out for the 2 flying Micras now. Before we get them, let's turn our attention to Steve Corky Ward and Phil Standham, who are making their way through in the glorious RS 1800 Escort Mark II. We were mentioning Phil earlier. He'll be a brave person to drag Phil out of a rally car. He's got some experience under his belt as Phil, and he loves his navigating. Was out last weekend competing with Darren Atkinson on Rally Ceredigion, just down the road here in Aberystwyth. A great weekend in the Pro Tyre National Asphalt Championship. So here is the first of the 2 flying Micras. First up, Ashley Francis Adams. Swallow the bravery pill and give it death over the jump. Well done, nicely done. Got some commitment of these guys. So Ashley Francis Adams there with Mark Ammons alongside. 1400 S-Class Micra. 2 maximum scores so far, and leading the class is Ashley. And although Dylan Fowler-Bishop is a very quick boy. 2 non-finishes so far. Has put his championship on the back foot. He's got 3 more chances left to get some decent scores in. So it'll be interesting to see how Dylan fares today. Dan Evans in the car with Dylan this weekend. Going well. So next up, I think, is Sam Mason. If I remember rightly, Sam Mason was one of our crews that really sent it this morning over this big jump. So we'll keep an eye out for Sam in a minute. With James Seymour alongside. See if he's still got the commitment he had this morning. We'll get into sort of the top 4 out of 2-wheel drive crews. Here he comes. Well, a little dab on the brakes, but more to settle the car and to just balance that car, really, rather than to slow it down too much. Kept his foot on the accelerator, just a little dab on the brakes to just make sure everything was in line for the jump. But, yeah, going well. Justin has just mentioned that Dylan's had a fuel problem. So he'll be glad to get to the end of the stage then. That's a shame. Thank you for the information, Justin. That's really good of you to let us know. It makes it look even more impressive, actually, when you see the commitment like we've seen today. Next up then. 5-3 is Hywel Davies and Aled Pennant. They've been running out of order throughout the event, but no dramas. Certainly not here anyway. That unarched Mark II Escort, familiar sight on the Welsh gravel. Adam Clayton is watching. Great coverage today. Thank you very much, Adam. David Bramhill, Dad is watching as well. Thanks for tuning in again, Dad, this afternoon. And Matthew Stroud and Callum Atkinson sideways in the Escort coming into view. Carmen Louise Evans, obviously Justin Fowler Bishop, who's been giving us some insider information on Dylan's issues with the fuel, and Alan Moore as well. Thank you for tuning in, guys. It's really much appreciated. Tell your friends and family who we are and where we are. If you are enjoying what you've seen today and you don't want to miss anything like this in the future, you can like the Special Stage Facebook page, and you can also hit the notification, which is the little bell symbol. If you hit that bell symbol, you can be notified then every single time we go live, and we go live quite a lot. So if you want to see action from next weekend's Three Shires Rally, we will be live on that one, and you'll be notified as soon as the camera starts to roll. Steve Magson then in the good-looking Astra rear-wheel drive. Another crew from Malton. Said there'd be nobody up there, but a few more yet as well. Nick Dobson, Ben Jemison, Mike Reed, all crews. Matthew Stroud from Malton as well, all from the Yorkshire area. Yorkshire must be quiet today. Ollie Mellors as well, remember? Paul Thompson. This must be a busy motor club up in Malton. England 1, Ireland 0. What's happening on England versus Ireland? Is there a match on? Oh, it was a big landing. Heavy landing. Phil Jones, Ryan Griffiths. No backing off there for the boys in the Escort. And yeah, landing after the crest. You saw it. The car bounced back. Down to the finish line. So, buzzing's back, apologies. That was Nigel Jenkins and Karen Jenkins in the 1400 Nova. Glorious looking car. They had a fair bit of commitment over that jump as well, didn't they then? Impressive to see. Car just took off, just got a little bit twitchy on the jump into it and landed with a little bit of a waggle. Okay, next up for us should be Nick Dobson and Steve Pugh. The second of the Pews. Let's see. Well, it's not. It's Andrew Stokes and Johnny Tad Evans. Good stuff. Andrew guiding the David Stokes Escort through Sweet Lamb. Johnny Tad Evans alongside. 3 good scores so far. 2 points finish. 3 good finishes. 2 points from the class lead in the Cat 2C5 class. So they're going well. Nice to see that car out. And I'm sure Sue will be back in the service van, back in service just over the other side of the hill from me here. Ben Jemison and Dean Kelly then in the stunning Chevette HSR 2.6 litre car. We mentioned before the commitment and the way that Ben has progressed driving that Chevette. Moved his way up the rankings over the last couple of years and is going well in that car. Mike Reed then and John Millington. Car 230. You actually get a good idea, don't you, from behind the jump like this, just exactly how committed somebody is and exactly the line that they take. You also see just how that car flies when it takes off as well, if they've got the balance right as it leaves the ground. To see the flight of the car from being directly behind it. So it's quite an interesting position to be in. When we start to see some of these cars at the top of the field coming down the hillside shortly, you'll be in for a treat. It's the Squires boys next up. The orange rallying competition equipment escort. Nicely done, boys. Boys are lifetime members of ERO Motor Club and based not too far from me down in Knife Pursley, just outside Stoke-on-Trent. There's almost patches of blue sky in the distance, Jay, when you look. There's bits of light, well, okay, there's lighter coloured cloud with some bright patches. Okay, it's maybe not quite blue sky, but if you look right in the distance and squint quite a lot. Two to 8, Gareth Edwards and Dylan Andrew going well in the Nova. 2 litre power in that car. Plenty of go in it. Yeah, going well, the little Nova. So we turn the page on our entry list. One car or one crew that really were on it this morning and really sent it over the jump was Lewis Hooper, one of the biggest jumps of the day, I would say, in the Fiesta. Let's keep an eye out and see. Here he comes. Watch this for commitment. There will be no lift from Lewis, I can promise. Full attack mode engaged. There we go. Flies well, that Fiesta. Great to see. Next on the entry list is Will Graham and Karen Graham. I don't remember seeing them this morning though, so I don't know if they had problems or not. I maybe just missed them or can't remember them, but I don't remember seeing Will. Did we? There's definitely the Flexifly car came through. I think it was the Evo that I'm thinking of there. I may be wrong. Yeah, 225 then, so Rob Dennis. Andy Boswell from Sutton and Cheam and Tavern Motor Clubs. Running in the H34 class. And a non-finish on Nicky Grist, but still currently lies second in that class. So they've got to find some consistency now towards the end of the season to bolster that, and if not better it. Important time of the year now for the championships. Shout out then to John Cope, Paul Edwards, Andy Cook and Neil Matthews, who have all tuned in. Andy tuned in earlier just as I was getting to the end of the stream, and I saw the comments after I turned the stream off. So apologies, Cookie. I did see your comments. Thank you very much. The fog has lifted a little bit now. It is a little bit better than it was. We're probably a little bit colder than we were, but we're still here on the Welsh hillside. Nick Dobson and Steve Pugh. I was lost in them for a second. 233. I was looking on the wrong page. That's why. Going well in the escort, running slightly out of order, but going well. Can anyone tell me what happened to Ed James, Charlie Mason on stage 8? Good question. just find... It's a great shout. I don't actually know what's happened. Obviously we can only see what's in front of us here, and we're only on a very small section of the 2 mile or so stage. No signal from the car, says off-road on retirements. I don't know what's happened to them, unfortunately. I don't remember them coming past the yellow and black Nissan Micra kit car, so yeah, they didn't make it to us here at post 9 anyway. Hopefully everything's okay with them pair, and they're parked up around the corner somewhere. Jonathan Brace and Paul Spooner making their way to the end of the rally. 2 maximum scores so far this season, with 1 non-finish, currently lying 3rd in class, and another finish here with some a decent haul of points as well, I'm sure, for the H1-2 class. So we're about to break into our top 20 in the historic and 2-wheel drive category cars. Historic and 2-wheel drive. There is the Mitsubishi Galant VR4 that comes through, one of the 4-wheel drive historic cars. That sounds wrong to say, doesn't it? Mitsubishi Galant VR4 is a historic car. Wow. One of my favourite cars growing up. Baz Wheeler, Ian Jones in that Mark II RS, been reseeded to a higher position, and rightly so. Yeah, fingers crossed, Neil. We'll pull our minds and our powers together to try and find out what happened to Ed James. If anybody is out there and they know what's happened to Ed in the Micra, let us know. They won't be too far away from us, wherever they are, because it's only a short stage and it runs as like a loop as well. So the other side of the stage is only over this hill. But when we were over there earlier, it was all under very low cloud. We couldn't see a thing, hence the reason we're back around this side of the hillside again. So it's a strange old place. Richard Goff, Les Forsbrook. Two-litre Escort running in the H3-4 class. We should see Robert Goff through later on as well. And then 1 non-finish so far, and also 1 class win. So needs another one of those to reaffirm himself in the championship. Callum Griffiths should be up next. It's not Callum Griffiths. It's a hard-charging Ian Evans and Justin Brooks in their 2-litre Escort, using every inch of the road here and just about getting away with it. But, it'll bring you into that ditch. There's some marks actually from where it looks like some off-road bikes, trials bikes and endurance bikes have been into the ditch here and used the ditch as part of their route whilst out practicing and training around Sweet Lamb. And yeah, it's left a mark in the road which just might drag the cars. If you get a tyre into that, it'll pull you down into that ditch. Who else we got? Jack Morris is watching, and Chris Ingram's joined us as well. Hello, Chris. Thank you for tuning in. Nice to see you. Hope you're okay after your shunt last weekend. That was some off, but congratulations on your win to start the event. England are now 2-0 up against Ireland in whatever sport they're playing. Thanks, Dad. Ian Hill is also watching from up in Cheshire. It was the flashy BMW compact that made its way past us of Mike Brown Jr. and Nicola Brown down from Knutsford Motor Club. Class win out on the Nicky Grist. 3 different class winners so far in the B12 category, so it's all to play for in that category. Great to see. Like a little bit of a close competition. It's always good. Ewan Hutchins is also tuning in as well, so thank you very much to everybody for tuning in. Let us know what you're up to this afternoon, this evening. Have you got any plans? What's your plans tomorrow? Is there any motorsport on tomorrow anywhere? I'm sure there will be somewhere. But yeah, let us know how you are all doing and where you're watching in the world. Andy Davidson and Tom Murphy. VXR powered Sunbeam. Jamie, pan the camera up quick. This needs to be caught on camera because it might not happen again. Look, blue sky. You thought I was lying before and joking when I said I thought I could see blue sky. To be perfectly honest with you, I thought I was going a bit mental as well. I thought I was being a bit delusional. Yes, and then you pan down and it's like all the hillsides disappeared and you can't see. And you pan the other way and it looks horrendous and rainy. And I did say, didn't I? Sweetlam has its own little microclimate here. It's a strange little part of the world. We're in like a little bowl complex here, in the middle of the hills, surrounded by incredible scenery here in mid Wales. This fantastic motorsport complex. Here is Callum Griffiths. Car 220. Always a fan favourite is Callum, certainly one of my favourites to see in that ST Max car. First time out for this young man this year, the 2023 under-25 winner of the under-25 category winner, and currently campaigning the B11 category with that Fiesta. All going well. I'm hoping I don't sound too snotted up on the microphone. It's difficult to tell when I'm talking, but I feel awful, if I'm honest with you. I'm getting by today. Then I'm going to just lie in bed with a Lemsip tomorrow. That's all I'm doing. Medication. .216. Heavy landing. in the G3, always one to watch. Great commitment. Well balanced car that, as it danced its way through the stage towards us there. Right, I did say I was going to do it earlier, so let's have a little look now and see what I can come up with results wise. We mentioned earlier you can find all the results out at djames.org.uk. The results link is a little bit further up in the comments, actually. So scroll back up through the comments, you'll be able to find a link to the results, and then you can find all the information you could ever wish to need. One crew that will be focusing their attentions on the top, or towards the top of that results list, will be Tom Llewellyn and Sean Williams. First time out this year in the car, under 25 and two-wheel drive winners from previous years. A very, very accomplished and talented young man behind the wheel of an Escort. Great to see Tom doing so well as well. So like I say, it's difficult when the seedings are in reverse and you have faster cars still to come. But if I have a little look at what has been going on so far and the results that we've had for the cars getting through this stage. Tom Llewellyn's time has just come on the board. It's a 2-minute 12 for Tom Llewellyn, so 3 seconds faster than Mike Brown Jr. in that BMW. Ewan Roberts Jr. in car 216, that G3 Escort, was 1 second slower than Mike, with a 2 minutes 16. Ian Evans then fourth quickest of the stage with a 2:17, and then we have 4 cars all sharing the 2:18. Jonathan Brace, Rob Dennis, Charlie Tuthill in that MG, fantastic effort from Charlie, and Baz Wheeler as well. That's a 1400 MG ZR going equal 5th quickest through this stage against cars with 2-litre engines in them. Just give you a little bit of an insight into that incredible performance by Charlie today. Really, really impressive. We'll have to find out how he's got on from a class point of view. 1400S is probably well, it's looking like Joe Everett has beaten him overall by 6 seconds. Incredible battle. Oh, huge jump. Stefan Stoof, Di Roberts throwing the Escort RS 1800 over that final leap down into the finish line. So, as we look at more times coming through, it appears that nobody is bettering Tom Llewellyn's time at the minute. Getting eaten alive by midges. Who'd have thought it this time of year? Owen McMacken that came through. He was 9th quickest with a 2:19. Rudy Lancaster then and Guy Weaver going well in the Woolacombe Bay sponsored Escort RS 1800, class leader and 2nd overall. That's 2nd overall in the Pirelli Welsh Championship in an Escort. It's an incredible achievement for the crew. It's been a good season for the pair now, when you consider they're up against 4-wheel drive machinery as well. That's no mean feat. So next up for us then, as we break into the top 10, 2-wheel drives should be David Henderson and Christopher Lees. They were here testing this car a week or so ago, getting to grips with it. It's not them, it's Ben Friend first. They're never shy of commitment. Cliffy Simmons alongside. Previous British Historic Rally Championship winner is Ben. It's a great entry here this weekend for the Historic Championship, so he'll have his work cut out to try and hold on to his position. Mr. Perez. Serious commitment. Nicely done, Mr. Perez. Seb Perez, that is, with Gary McElhenney alongside, pushing really hard. It's just so good to watch the hand movement in the car. I noticed it last time when we were up at the jump. You can see Seb's hands on the steering wheel and the way he dances the car through the corners. It's just really, really good to see, actually. And if you get a chance to watch that back on the live stream, just watch his positioning of his hands as he comes through this corner here below us. And the way he set the car up for the corner, it just looks like he's way too fast for the corner, but just knows exactly how to get the right angle on the car to keep the power in and to drive the corner. It's incredible to watch. Richard Hill and Patrick Cooper. Heavy landing from the escort crew. Had issues on the previous run through this stage with I've lost him then for a second. Yeah, had issues on the first run through the stage this morning with a puncture. Back end of the car was right out here in the ditch, so it was a slower time this morning. But yeah, it looks to be going well. Second time round for Richard and Patrick, as we now push into the real business end of this two-wheel drive historic category. Absolute magic. Absolute magic. Mark Higgins, Carl Williamson in that incredible TR7 V8 prepared and run by David Appleby Motorsport. It just sounds so good. It just looks so good on the stage. Fantastic piece of engineering, that car, and what a champ to have driving as well. Mark revelling in the in his experience of rallying over the years, and you know, taking such pleasure in getting back out there this year and driving a car like that. You know, it's a joy to watch from our side, and I'm sure it's a joy for him to drive as well. So it's all good when it comes to Mark Higgins, Carl Williamson TR7 V8. David Henderson and Christopher Lees then. It was a heavy landing as well. They're all fully committed, these guys, aren't they? No touching of the brakes for this jump. They obviously they've had one run over it this morning, and they've decided, yep, we're all right with that. We can take that flat. So yeah, brilliant to watch these cars over the jump for the second time like that. Really, really impressive stuff. And bear in mind, this is his first event out in that car as well, so it hasn't taken him long to get used to, has it? So just a few more cars to come, and then we'll be turning our attentions to the four-wheel drive category. And what we will do is we'll keep the camera rolling. We'll let you see some of this beautiful Welsh scenery, and we'll take a couple of minute break. If you want to go put the kettle on quick, and it will have to be quick, go and make yourself a quick brew, and join us back for the final innings of the Phil Price Memorial Woodpecker Sadies Rally. As we see the beautiful 103-1R Bath of Nick Elliott and Dave Price. Nice and smooth this time over the jump. It was a heavy landing first time round, so just balanced the car nicely on the brakes as it took off. So we're looking for George Lepley in that thunderous sounding Galant VR4. And Joe Price in the sweet sounding Escort to round things off for us here in the two-wheel drive / historic category. Doesn't sound VR4-ish. Now Mr. Hetherington. Issues for Adrian then and Ronan O'Neill. It's a bit of a misfire. I'll be glad to be getting to the end of this one then. Just making his way through the final time control, final finish line of the event, and then down to the final time control. We're pleased to put that car back on the trailer after today. So crews sorted themselves out a little bit, haven't they, if we're being honest, after this morning. There was a few out of place crews this morning, but now things are a little bit more organised and back in sort of line of stern. So where were we? Brad Cole's back watching with us again live. Thank you for joining us, Brad. Andrew Forrester is watching as well. Mark Holmes is still with us. Roger Haycock's still with us. And Neil is still with us as well. So thank you very much for being along for the ride. We will... I was going to say, we should have 2 more cars to come, but... can't hear anything in the distance at the minute. We may have a small gap. Here's the Mitsubishi, I think. I say that with some confidence. It might not be. It's an Escort. Oh no, it's not. It's a Micra. That's caught us out, hasn't it? That baffled us all then. So James, car 258, Neil Matthews. Ed is with us. Doesn't seem to be too much going on there. I wonder if he's just got stuck somewhere and couldn't get out, and they've managed to get him out. But anyway, he has made it to the end of the stage. I wonder if that signifies that we have got a little bit of a break now, and we haven't got Joe Price and George Leffley coming through. So George Leffley stopped in stage 5. Steve Merry is watching as well. Thank you, Steve, for joining us. Good place to watch over the jump. Thank you, Paul Morris, and Brad giving us a compliment as well. Great coverage as always. Thank you, Brad. Very nice of you to say so. Neil's happy with the sight of that Micra. So I'm thinking that might be it for the next few minutes. So I'm going to give your ears a rest and let you enjoy a little bit of Welsh scenery, and then we'll be back very, very shortly with the 4-wheel drive. So bear with us for 5 minutes, get yourself a brew, get yourself to the toilet, and we will see you very, very soon here on Special Stage. Okay, well, we are back. Hello, if you're in the kitchen, we're back on live. Come join us for the four-wheel drives. I can hear some four-wheel drive power off the start line behind us. And I expect to see Mr. Elliot Payne and Patrick Walsh blasting into view very, very shortly. Like I say, it's only a 2-minute stage here, so it won't be long before the crew arrive with us and come into our shot. Don't forget what we mentioned earlier, Elliot is driving with a double fracture to his wrist, so makes things even more impressive. Chattering wastegates in the distance, echoing through the hillside here at Sweet Lamb, as we turn our attentions to the four-wheel drive section of the Phil Price Memorial Rally this weekend here, the Woodpecker Stages 2024, overlooking the beautiful complex down here at Sweet Lamb. This is stage 8 if you're just joining us. Oopsie, I'm in trouble. Sorry, Aidan. You won't want to miss this though, trust me. Steady away, I would say there. Little dab on the brakes for Elliot, just to settle the car for the jump. Remember, very last section of the rally. Over that jump there, you've got about 200 metres, 300 metres before you get to the flying finish board. So, you know, you've done 40-odd miles of rallying. The last thing you want to do is throw it off on the last 200 metres. So, playing it sensible, playing it safe. No dramas. That's the way to do it. You're right, Laura. What about Joe Price on this stage? No Joe Price. We didn't see him. I don't know what's going on with Joe. I haven't found anything else. Danny and Pinky flying high in the polo. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Danny Sigurdsson, Asta Sigurdardóttir in that polo. Great commitment from the two. Icelandic crew love to compete over here in Wales, and having moved up into a polo, they're really getting to grips with that car now. Fantastic to see them out. So yeah, I don't know what's happened to Joe. We were expecting him obviously through top of the two-wheel drive. Hasn't appeared. I mean, the pace he has, he could be running slightly down the list here and turn up in the middle of the four-wheel drives. That wouldn't be too much of a surprise. Car number 4 then, Ollie Mellors. Next up, the little Iris R5, Max Freeman alongside. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to Joe. If anyone has any information on Joe, that would be great. I'd love to know what's going on there. And yeah, an issue for Matt Hurst on SS2 this morning. We saw the time drop, about 5 minutes or so, but I don't know what the reasons were behind it. Again, with us not really having a great deal of signal up here in the Welsh Hills, we haven't really managed to get a great deal of information on these things. Everyone who knows anything is in the Welsh hillside with no with no signal, so we will no doubt find out what's gone on with all these crews and bring you up to date with everything in the review show after the event anyway. But we know that Matt and Deck were running slightly out of order this morning after their issues on stage 2. Lovely jump from Liam Clark, Emily Easton Page in that Fiesta Rally 2, making their way through to the end of the stage. No Perry Gardner yet either, and Jack Bowen, so we need to keep an eye out for them pair. Hopefully Perry's still with us. Setting some blistering times this morning, going toe to toe with Elliott and Ollie Mellors until a puncher. Cost them around about 6 or 8 seconds. Twitchy sideways landing from Russ Thompson and Stephen Link in that Evo 9. Just drifted as it went over the jump, didn't it? The back end just twitching out and landed a little bit sideways. Managed to get it back under control. I'm sure there was no dramas in the car whatsoever. Yeah, all fully under control in that Evo 9. So next up for us then, Matt Hurst and Declan Deere. Lovely stuff. Car sounds fantastic as well. Just popping off the rev limiter over the jump there, foot clearly flat to the floor, setting the car up with a little bit of balance on the brakes, and then take off over the jump, and the popping as it bounces off the rev limiter as there's no wheels on the ground, so no traction. Fantastic stuff. It's I think it's been a good debut outing for them, the pair, to be fair. They've set some cracking pace. I know things didn't quite go to plan on stage 2, but considering new car, getting to grips with all that, it's been a decent result, I would say, for the crew in that Skoda Fabia, moving away from the long-time partnership in the Fiesta. Nice to see them get to the end of an event. I'm sure they'll be happy too. So the times were coming through pretty thick and fast earlier. Let's see if I can get some results up. Okay then, well, we said it was being a good day. Matthew Hurst sets the fastest time so far with a 1:58 through the stage, 2 seconds quicker than Daniel Sigurdsson and Ollie Mellors, both setting 2-minute deads. Russ Thompson then with a 2:02, and Elliott Payne with a 2:15. Dropped a lot of time in this stage. That's not like Elliott. We did say he did seem a little bit cautious, didn't he? We noticed over the jump a little bit steady and a little bit relaxed. Maybe there was an issue with the car. Just a case of getting it through to the end. Now, what's the commitment here? Well, a little dab on the brakes, so the brake lights came on, but still fully sent that Evo over the jump. A heavy land. You could hear the under tray bouncing into the surface of the road there as it landed. So again, just a couple of 100 metres to the end of the stage, so I'll be pleased to get to the end of that one, I'm sure. But same as first run, James Giddings and Aled Davies, current championship leaders here in the Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship. They're not scared of throwing caution to the wind over the final few hundred metres of stage anyway, that's for sure. James set a time of 2:06 through this stage, so 4 seconds behind Russ Thompson in the similar Evo. Oh, this is fantastic to see. Brilliant stuff. We've kept everything crossed all day for the golf, and sure enough, Steve Hollis and Tim Curry have made the end of the rally with the Golf after quite a few reliability issues this year. That's fantastic to see. So no Bob Morgan and Aid Williams. We didn't see them this morning, so issues for the crew earlier on in the event made it that we didn't see them come through Sweet Lamb 1. It's clouding over a bit again behind us, Jay. I'm hoping that we get things done and dusted and wrapped up pretty quick here if we can. I say that and there's a gap in card. Typical. Certainly still hear the cars over the back anyway, so it won't be long before our next competitor arrives. So it's looking like an event win in the four-wheel drives then for Ollie Mellors, with Elliot Payne second, Russ Thompson third, and taking maximum points by the looks of things here on the Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship. Richard Keane, car 215, going well this afternoon. 215, it can't be 215. Making things up now. So it's been a long day. Just the 1 and the 5. Just the 1 and the 5 for Richard and Dylan Thomas on the car. Fiesta R5, sorry. So another crew to have had a slower time through here. Liam Clark in the R5, in the Rally 2 car, sorry. 35th quickest through this stage. Probably expect a little bit quicker there, to be fair, from Liam. And now it's the time of David Tomlin and Ian Beamond in their R5 Fiesta, running in B14. It's been a good season for the crew so far, and leading the class as well, which is very good. And another strong finish to the event here on the Woodpecker stages means more points for that championship. Trevor Gamble then, next up for us, car number 8. Phil Kenny alongside from Wickham Motor Club, making the journey south. Fans and spectators still on the hillside, down by the jump. Still a good group of them collected here, even though the day's pressing on now. We're getting towards tea time and people will be wanting their dinners. But plenty of people still out and about enjoying probably the best weather we've had, actually, to be fair. So why not stay till the end? Okay, so Laura Hunter has just filled in with a little bit of information here. Perry and Jack are out. Perry said they had a spin and ended up in a ditch. We're going a bit too fast. Well, I have to say the commitment and the speed and pace that we saw from them this morning, excuse me, was incredible. So they did very well this morning. It was great to watch them, and the times they were setting were really, really promising as well. So you sometimes find the limit when you're pushing on it or over it. So yeah, but still, slip into a ditch. That's okay. You can come back from that, no problem at all. Thank you very much for your information there, Laura. Huge leap from Pat Naylor and Ian Lawrence in the Evo. On the way to the moon, then I thought they were going to land in the service park by the time they came down. Then it was a huge jump from the Evo pair. Fully committed, very good to see. Nicely done, boys. We saw Simon Rogers and James Howe through earlier in the yellow Evo 6. Great to see Simon back out again. It was a good start to the season, which came to a bit of an abrupt end all of a sudden. We had issues on previous rounds, but back out again now, which is fantastic. Car looking good and making it to the end of this rally, so it's definitely going the right way. Colin Griffiths and Mark Morgan, the Ludlow Castle Motor Club crew in the Impreza STI, running in B13. Had a great result on the Nicky Griff stages last month, and looking to repeat that on this local event here. And I think you can say it's a job well done. They've set some decent times throughout the day, and have made it to the end of the event. What more could you ask for? Let's have a little look and see if their time comes through. We can have an idea of where they are. Yeah, equal 11th quickest through this stage with a 2 minutes 12, setting the same times as Pat Naylor, Dave Tomlin, Tom Llewellyn. So that's a solid effort there, for sure. Finishing 11th overall by the looks of things. So yeah, a good solid day's effort there. War Gutting and Bob Stokoe, Southern Car Club members, 4th in class, 1 DNF and 3 events left to go. So a lot going on for them at the minute, but it's just one of those cars and one of those faces and names that you've certainly seen if you've been around the sport for as long as I have. It's one of those names that is synonymous with rallying. Jeff Jones Motorsport prepped Subaru Impreza. So not too many more cars to come now. We have around about 4 or 5, I imagine, left of the field. I just want to say a big shout out to all the Orange Army out there, all the marshals that have braved the fog and mist this morning and got up nice and early, ventured into the forests to ensure this event runs safely. All the radio crews and officials, all the medics and rescue crews, everybody who's involved in motorsport. I always say this every time I'm live, I know, but everyone who's involved in running an event. It's a massive, massive undertaking for everybody, including all the organisers of the events as well. So a big thank you to everyone who's helped this event run and run on time just about and as smoothly as it has. It's certainly no mean feat. So a big thank you to everybody. I hope you've had a great day's motorsport, and hopefully these last few cars now to come through will put the icing on the cake, and it'll be a nice finish to the event, and we can all head home safely. If you want to get involved in motorsport or in rallying, head to Motorsport UK's website, and you will be able to find out everything you need to know. Ernie Graham and Robin Kellard then in the Evo 10. Sounds a little bit better this time. I did think it sounded rough this morning. I didn't think it was on song, but it sounds a little bit better this afternoon. It's going a bit quicker as well, I think. So, yeah, good stuff. Ernie pressing on in the Evo 10. So, 4 more Welsh Championship crews to come. We will stick around for them all. Next round of the championship is the Cambrian Rally. It's the penultimate round of the championship, and the crews head north up into the Llandudno, Conway, Betws-y-Coed forests, and some incredible stages up there. Very tricky technical stages as well to get your teeth into. Peter Bayliss and Paul Godden in the Evo 9. Having a good season so far, currently sitting second in their class. It's been a good day again for the crew here. So yeah, like I was saying, the Cambrian next, and then we turn our attention to the opposite end of Wales, down to the Forest of Dean for the Wydene Forest Rally stages to round the championship off in style. Unfortunately, I won't be at the Cambrian as I have a family wedding, so you'll have to make do with another voice. I don't know who it's going to be at the minute. It might be Mr. Woodford. It might be Sam Coleman. We will see how it works out. But yeah, I will be missing the next round, unfortunately. But I will be back to round the championship off, like I say, in style, down in the Forest of Dean. It's been a few years since I've been down there, so I'm looking forward to getting back down to the woods down that area. Excuse me, we're almost done and my throat is just about holding out. Paul Lomas and Mark Leader. Speaking of Forest of Dean Motor Club members in the Subaru Impreza, so there'll be another crew that are really looking forward to the final round of this fantastic Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship. Watch the jump. Steadier this time, certainly steadier. Adam Durst-Hillier and Chris Davies were, I think they've only just landed from the first time round. Actually, I think they probably took the long distance award on the first jump this morning. Really committed in the Evo. Fantastic to see. So yes, they've learnt their lesson and they're a little bit safer this time. 2 starts, 1 DNF, and is desperate for a finish. So I think we can safely say that is a finish under the belt for Adam and Chris. They are now safely back through the flying finish and at the time control, receiving their times. So the Aslett boys then, Rob and Ashley, in that Poppin and Manging 2-litre Subaru Impreza, currently lying 7th in their class, looking to make improvements and climb that leaderboard. Strong result today will help. It's obviously a very competitive class. If you're running a Subaru or an Evo, you know, you've got your work cut out to be on top of that class. You're up against the likes of Russ Thompson and James Giddings, people like that, and Pat Naylor, whatever. You know, you've really got to be on your game. So It's no mean feat to still finish where they are doing. They're doing a great job. Gareth Edwards is watching. He's tuned in. He's parked the Nova back in its trailer, or back in its house. It's only up the road, isn't it? So it's not too far for it. He's probably sat with his feet up now having a beer, joining us for the last couple of cars here on the rally that he's just completed. This is Jeff Cottrell and Nathan Crew. That's the sound of a car desperate to get to its trailer. Let's say it's struggling its way through the final stage, but it has made it to the end of the rally, and it'll be a welcome relief to get that car back into service and back to the mechanics and onto the trailer and away home. So our final competitor then, Michael Stanley and Izzy Holman, throwing the Group A Subaru over the jump. That may have been the biggest of the day, actually. Final car may have been the biggest of the day. Fantastic stuff to see. Really, really committed. Didn't give that impression on the approach, did it? But clearly decided, there's a lot of spectators here, they've come to see this, let's go for it. So, yeah, brilliant to see. The cars making their way then back out of the final stage of the day up to the time control, where they will get their times for the stage and then have to drive just back up to Newtown. It's not too far to Newtown. It'll be all right. They'll get up there. The Evo will be fine. It'll cough and splutter its way to Newtown first. But yeah, all good. So just a little bit of confirmation. Hurst went off and lost time in stage 2. Finding the limits of that Skoda, but he's had a good day, set some fantastic times, and I'm sure there'll be smiles all around in that car. And I bet they're itching to get out on the next round of the championship as well, so we'll be certainly looking forward to seeing them. I'll be trying to watch the live stream from the back of a wedding, hopefully with nobody telling my wife that I'm spying on the rallying and not paying attention to what's going on at the wedding. But anyway, I'm going to leave you now. We are done and dusted here. It is over and out from the Phil Price Memorial Rally 2024 counting round of the Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you the action here from Sweet Lamb, a fantastic part of the world, as I'm sure you'll agree. Now that the fog has lifted, it's even better. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you all very soon. All right, all the best, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.